Hi everyone, I am jumping online today to talk to you about your last assignments related to your marketing plan. I'm actually doing shared screen with you so that I can go through some of the pieces and show you what I'm talking about as I talk. So the part one of your marketing plan actually has sort of 4 parts within it. Marketing plans can be quite elaborative and detailed, so this is sort of a smaller version of a more elaborative marketing plan. But the 4 parts that go with your part 1 is the customer personas, which when you open the document on Brightspace, that shows up here, your top 3 personas, which are basically a really detailed description of your top target customers, the customers that you want to go after, the kind of families you want to serve, the kinds of parents, grandparents, caretakers you want to work with. And that usually has to do with their demographic data, right? Like how old they are, the kind of income levels they have, what they might be interested in or like or value, who's in your community, who's available to you. If you were operating near, a prison or a hospital, probably your target demographic, your target audience is nurses and correctional officers. If you are near a college campus, you probably are targeting younger parents who are students. If you're in a big urban area, in a downtown area, you're probably targeting and looking for customers who are professionals, right? So each area, each community will have a different group of people who live there, and that's the kind of information that we look at when we're trying to really narrow in and focus in on a specific type of customer. You think about any business, they build profiles. Who are they going after? If you are selling Lululemon, you probably want people who are interested in exercise, particularly yoga, mostly women, although they do have a men's line. It's often a younger demographic. Everyone has a very specific customer base. And when they start to narrow down that data, then they can look at, well, what does that type of customer like? What's that type of customer interested in? Where do they do their shopping or browsing or social media? Are they on Instagram or Facebook? Because the more we know about the customer, their information, their insights, their interests, we can, really target how we serve that customer, understanding them, what matters to them, that kind of thing. So that's what the persona is about. If you just kind of scroll through, I'm asking for that basic demographic information, what education level, what age, even where they live, their geographic location, some of the things they value, what their lifestyle's like. If you're serving a lot of teachers, you're going to have to think about the fact that they're off in the summer, because that's the kind of vacation and sort of lifestyle situation they're in. So those kinds of variables have to be thought about. If you're working with clients who work a lot of night shifts, or maybe younger families having, young children, then you're looking at, do we have later hours? Do we serve infants? Based on the customer, it's going to change the service. How do they like to do business? If you're dealing with older demographics, often they use traditional marketing. They are the type of people to appreciate newspaper, radio, posters, ads, the traditional marketing. But if you serve a younger demographic, they're usually online. They want to be texted. They want to be engaged through social media marketing and email. Even if you watch what the schools are doing, they're starting now to send information via text. They're sending things via email. They're progressing along in the ways that they communicate with their customer, whether that's a paying customer or not. So that is, I hope, a better description on the customer personas. It doesn't matter to me necessarily if you have 3. 2 would suffice if you have sort of 2 main groups that you serve. But the whole point of marketing is the more you know your customer, the better the relationship you can build, the better the experience you can provide, the more satisfied the customer, the more likely they, do marketing for you with word of mouth and positive reviews and referrals. So at the end of the day, if anyone says, what's marketing? A lot of people would say it's advertising and promotion. I would say, no, it isn't. It's relationships and experiences. Those things build lifelong customers who, keep your business sustainable and viable. So that is what I want you to do for personas. Build 2. If you have 3, great. If you have 2, that's fine too. Competition. So I chatted with someone this morning who said, well, we don't really have competition. You might not have competition immediately next door. Maybe you don't even have competition within an hour radius, but you always have the potential for competition. Anyone can open a home daycare. Anyone can open another licensed daycare in your community at any given point. We never want to get complacent and not think competitively. And by competitively, I mean, when I think of what I have to offer as a service, what I do, what I offer, what I bring to the community, I want to make sure it is really strong and could compete if it had to compete, and does compete if there are other competitors in the area. And it's not traditional like battle competition. It's about having a value that will stand on its own, that will make people want your service, make people enjoy your childcare facility, enjoy the teachers, enjoy the experiences their kids have at your centers, enjoy the kinds of things that you do for their children. So it doesn't matter if there's someone else in your competitive area. What matters is, are you offering something that is valuable and great? And if another competitor did come on the scene, you wouldn't lose people because you stay quite strong. Or if you're in a very competitive area and there's lots of other people, lots of other facilities open, that you can, compete with them in a way that you're doing a really good job, you're offering a really good service, you're promoting that service, you're serving families, you're making families happy, kids are happy, you've got good reviews, good word of mouth, and overall, pretty strong. So, a few years back, no one would have ever expected that we would have pre-primary, that would have been a competitor, and now it is. So you always have to be thinking ahead of that curve of what value do I offer? And that brings me to that piece of your assignment, the value proposition, which I'm going to explain more in just 1 minute. But so, where are your competitors? What do they offer? Have you checked out how they promote themselves, what they do? Are they doing anything new or really interesting, anything unique that makes them different? Do they have weaknesses or strengths? Sometimes you should know your competitor as well as, if not better than your own business, because they can be a source of ideas, a source of inspiration of what to do and what not to do. So take some time and really look at some great childcare facilities out there and, beg, borrow, and steal some of their ideas that you can make your own. It's not a direct copycat, but you can certainly find ideas and learn from the people doing it best. Every burger joint didn't come up with a new concept. They all basically followed what McDonald's did and found ways to do it a little bit differently or unique. But in the end, they're all burger joints based on the McDonald's model. So again, with this, maybe focus on one top competitor or top 2 competitors. It's okay if you don't have 3. If you are in an urban area with a lot of competition, you should have your thumb on the pulse of more competition. If you're in really remote rural areas, you should be thinking about what the best childcare centers in the surrounding areas look like and start learning from them, much like I hope they're learning from you. So that brings me to the end of the marketing plan 1, the last piece, which is your USP, your unique selling point, your unique selling feature, your value proposition. There's all kinds of terminology. They all mean the same thing. This is what I offer, and this is why it's worth what we charge for it. My grandson goes to a home-based childcare facility. It's not licensed, but she is extraordinary. She does some of the most hands-on work with kids. And I have an ECE background, so I feel like I have, a lens to evaluate this. There's so much good quality in the food, in the affection that she shows them, and how well she looks after them. They get dirty and creative. They go outside. They just have a really wonderful experience. It's small, it's intimate. We are on Facebook in the group so we can see what they're eating every day, what they're doing. She communicates with us through text and Facebook on a regular basis so that we can have checkpoints. If I was to say what's her unique selling position, she's extraordinary. She's extremely hands-on and very family-centered, to the point that she engages with the family, both immediate family and extended, on a daily basis. I'm not as concerned with the elevator pitch. What an elevator pitch normally means is, if you were out at a barbecue or in an elevator or in a grocery store checkout, and someone, asked about you or what you do, that you have a quick 1 minute spiel, 2 minute spiel about your center and who you are and why you guys are great. It's your quick commercial, if you will. It doesn't need to sound canned or contrived, but that you would be able to quickly roll off your tongue. This is our child care center, this is who we serve, this is where we're located, what we do, and what makes us awesome. If you want to kind of work on the elevator pitch, I don't want you to stress about it, but really stop and ask yourself, what would I say to a new client, a potential client, that's positive and upbeat, and that would make a really good, quick introduction to your center, that would be marketing it in a positive way, promoting it in a positive way, and making people interested and curious about your center. That might make you stretch your thinking a little bit, because I know you don't tend to think about marketing and promotions in a day-to-day operational style when you're trying to focus on kids and health and safety and nutrition and all of that, but this is what makes businesses viable and sustainable for the long term. And if you're in charge or have the potential to be in charge, these are the things leaders have to think about. Okay, so getting on to part 2, the 4 Ps. There is a quick video, but you can Google 4 Ps and learn a ton about what it means to marketing. It's often referred to as the marketing mix. So I have a price, a product, I promote that product, and I place that product. So let me put that in context. If you are McDonald's, you are priced low. You offer fast food, primarily with a few healthy options. You're often placed on the main strip, the main street of most areas. And you also place your ads and you promote yourself in a place where people can see them. So McDonald's is on the main strip. They often have ads placed on television or, newspapers or really prominent places. They do a lot of online advertisement. And a grocery store, if you think about a grocery store, they're also usually located at a main entrance, main area, high traffic area. And when you go into the grocery store, you think about what's at eye level. What's at eye level is always the brand names, and what's above it might be no name or, a generic brand below it. But at the eye level, that placement is the most expensive marketing real estate in the grocery store. If you think about where milk is located in a grocery store, it's placed at the back of the store, forcing everyone to go through the grocery store in order to get their milk and hopefully buy some other things on impulse along the way. So marketers always think 4 Ps. How am I going to price this? How am I going to promote it? Where am I going to place it in terms of my physical location, brick and mortar? And then if I sell product, like where am I going to place it, as well as where am I going to place my ads? Am I going to use social media? Am I going to use newspaper? Am I going to use word of mouth? Like, where am I going to place my promotions? And how do I promote myself? Do I tell an awesome story about what we do? Do I tell an awesome story about how great our staff is? Do I maybe showcase the kids a little bit and some pictures of them and what they're eating and what they're doing? Do I show us on outings? Because everything I show, everything I market and promote is what attracts people, right? I have, a price for my product, but I have bundle pricing. Sometimes you might have a price if it's 2 families versus 1. No different than Eastlink has a price for your internet and then your internet, phone, and cable if you have a bundle package. Sometimes there's, different pricing for different services, different pricing for infants versus preschool, after school. So I just want you to think about how you mix up your 4 Ps, how you package it, how you promote it, how you kind of tell it to the world. And start to think about how you can mix that up and do things a little bit differently to really position yourself and promote yourself strongly. I hope that helps. I don't want this video to go over 15 minutes. Please reach out and ask questions if you have them. I am on every day and happy to answer and happy to meet one-on-one if needed. Thanks very much, and stay connected.